Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hard Knock Hawks. I'm Anthony, along with my three other hosts, Chris, Leon, and Marco. Today, we're going to be talking about the last week of games where the Hawks once again went 1-3 overall. They lost at home in a blowout against Boston, blew an 18-point lead against the Chicago Bulls, and lost a nail biter on the road against the Detroit Pistons. However, they did have their biggest upset of the season, winning against the New York Knicks at home. The Hawks right now are 4-8 and the 11th seed in the pretty bad Eastern Conference. One of the things I want to start talking about is their defense. Um, Considering how many offensive players are out right now, they need to win their games on defense. Um, the Hawks did improve on many areas so far on like rim defense, mid range, stuff like that. Thanks to players like Dyson Daniels and Hunter being better because of that, but he's out. But the main thing that has regressed a lot this season has been their defense on the 3 point line. It was a really big problem last season, but it has now become a really big issue. So I'm going to start with you, Chris. How do you think the Hawks can fix this problem or just make it not as bad as it is right now?
I mean, a lot of the issue is health related. So when you finish training camp and you have like certain amount of like lineups and stuff drilled out, you've been working on your rotations with certain guys, and then half your rotation gets like taken out. Within a week, now you're getting new guys on the court together that are having to do things that they're working with new people, right? So the communication hadn't been there on some rotations. Guys were getting wide open threes, and we also have horrible luck. There's like shooting variance going on that's not in their favor. People are even shooting better on open threes than they should be. So there's some bad luck to it, but also just the injuries, man. They just have to work really hard. In the film room and practice with the guys they have right now to get caught up. And they have to speak out there, communicate. But yeah, hopefully they get healthy and the guys that have worked together can get out there and it'll look a little bit better.
What do you think about it, Marco?
It all comes down to health. We're not healthy, so that means you're running guys more than you need to be. Like Trey just played 42 minutes against the Pistons, then turned around to play 40 minutes against Chicago. That's not sustainable. Again, like we said last episode, you can't keep playing them. Can't keep playing these high minutes, then expect them to have a perfect 4 quarters. It just doesn't go like that. It sucks that the injury bug has hit us this early. Hopefully, that's technically in our favor because if you look at the rest of the East is also hurt. Only two teams are really dominating right now, so it's still hope now that we're still 4-7. Funny enough, we played solid though. I can't say we didn't just try in any of those games. I think all of those games, besides maybe one, we didn't really put 100% in effort, and that was against the Celtics. But against the Knicks, we ate. Uh, Detroit came down to a nail biter. That was a tough layup. You couldn't even really be mad at that loss. But a lot of people will see it as it's Detroit. We shouldn't have been in that position with Detroit, which is somewhat true. But they're not the same team they were last year. You got young guys that want to eat and they want to step up. So
And they have an actual coach now, so that
I wouldn't call
helps.
JB an actual coach,
I
but it's
mean,
a better coach than what they had.
it's a
They have 4 wins. There's like 7 teams in the East that have 4 wins.
it took them like 4 months to get actually 4 wins. So I mean,
Hey, like Chris said, they're at 4 wins now. So hey, that's something. Uh, then
So we
again, Chicago.
half the East.
Chicago was good until the fourth quarter. Well, really going into the half. Then third quarter was up and down, up and down. Then fourth quarter it just was a full collapse. Because again, our guys were tired. You could tell they were tired because now they're just forcing threes instead of trying to drive into the hole and whatever. So it's been a rough 4 games. I will say that. You just gotta hope you can get the guys back soon. DeAndre is supposed to come back this week, so hopefully he helps somewhat. And yeah, on to you, Leon.
Um, man, it's
That's a
just been a
deep
tough
side,
week.
bro.
Yeah, it's been a tough week to be a Hawks fan. I looked at some of the numbers, and 5 games in 7 days, including two back-to-backs with travel, is tough for any team. especially a team that's dealing with the injuries that we're dealing with. So it was nice to get that win over the Knicks. That's definitely the highlight of the week for sure. But you now have this back-to-back of games that you wish you could have back. Like you wish you could have the last 5 minutes of both of those games back. So it's rough, but we're hoping to get a couple guys back soon so that Trey and Jalen don't continue to lead the league in minutes by an entire game. So yeah, that's pretty
Not
much
even
all I got for me.
a game like a full 40. Like it's not even like 32 dogs. It's like
Yeah. It's a full
like a
it's a full
solid
game,
40.
like a solid.
Like
Like basically, Jason Tatum has like but
a
Jason
playoff
Tatum's
game.
at like 360, right? So if
Yeah.
he plays 40 minutes, he'll be right there, and he's probably not going to play 40 minutes.
Trey and Jalen
Or
are
wait, he
literally
might have.
number 1 and 2 for total minutes right now. So
Only people at 400, I think, and Cade's at like 361.
Yep. They're the only 2 people at 400. I just with the 3-point defense thing, my main concern is that if we are like 20 games into the season and people are still healthy and other teams are still making these shots, I'm just concerned that just like with last year, is it still gonna be just are they just lucky in making these shots, or are they just really bad defending the 3-point line? Because like last year, we were saying some of the same stuff, like, oh well, at the beginning of the season, oh, they were lucky to make some of these shots, but then as the year progressed, it was just they just kept making them over and over and over again, and it's just eventually it was just clear that okay, they were just having a really bad hard time defending these threes. But this year, I don't know if it's going to be the same thing, since it's clear that everything else on defense has improved. So I guess it's just more of a wait and see thing. I don't know.
We just lost half our wings, bro. Like this is the thing. Like instead of Veet and Dre defending jumpers for like half the game, it's like David Roddy and Garrison Matthews again. Like we thought we were away from 6'4" power forwards when West was gone, and then somehow David Roddy's here now playing like 25 minutes a game. That is unsustainable. To be fair, they're giving up a lot of open threes. Like they have to start closing out better. Like that is on them. Like the injuries is one thing, but like they're having there's bad rotations going on.
Yeah, bad rotations. You've seen it a while because it was one where Jalen and Roddy just got confused and they just neither one of them ran to the corner. They just let him take the shot. Yeah, so
and some of that is fatigue, right? You get lazy when you're tired, but
yeah,
you also don't think when you're tired. That's why coaches always run you, because they want you to be in shape in the fourth quarter. And if you're done, your brain isn't going to be there. So it's just a whole lot of factors. Hopefully they can get healthy.
Yeah.
Or make a move. But honestly, it's too early to even really start hoping for that.
I want to put off.
Kid requested trade.
I know we're 4-7, but you gotta have some type of optimism with the 4-7. Kinda, it's weird how I'm gonna put it, but we've shown we can compete with anybody. The issue has been, damn, I bit my tongue. The issue has been we've had injuries. That's basically how I'm gonna put it. We had injuries, so I'm pretty sure this might be a reach. I'm pretty sure we will be at least 6-4 right now.
Yeah,
7-4. We get
7.
Healthy. We flip. Healthy, it's at least flipped. Because like
I say 3 L's if we're healthy.
Look, man, if we're healthy, we don't lose to those Detroit games, and I don't really think we lose the last 2 games that we played.
I think we've had multiple 1-point losses, and if you are saying that Bogey, Dre, or Veet are worth at least 2 points, like
if you got one of those guys back in that Detroit game, that's a win.
I mean, especially Dre, because we need like a more consistent offensive player. and his defense right now. I mean, I'm kind of hyping up Trey, and like he was so loud.
Well, I will say, like, if he were healthy and available and dependable, like that would be a really good way to address the non-Trey minutes.
Yeah.
One of the things, this is like a roundabout way of saying this, but like we were talking about before the season about what lineup Zach should be in, if it was better for him to be in the second lineup or the starting lineup. And I said the starters because there's less pressure on him. And if he's with the second lineup, then he's got to score, like, because we don't have anybody in that second lineup that can, like, as a wing that can go get buckets. And if Dre was there, like, we would have someone who could at least go take his middies for a few minutes a game when Trey's off. But right now, it's just don't have that guy.
Yeah, well, at least he's coming back. I assume probably the Celtics game.
Yeah, congratulations on the child.
Yeah.
Also.
Yep.
And
scary situation he had.
Wish him the best. Yeah. 2 months premature is definitely a little scary. So.
But let's talk about something positive that did happen. Risacher did have a big breakout game against the New York Knicks. He had a 30
against the Knicks.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
As Trey said, sent their asses home.
He had a 33-point game with 7 rebounds, 6 3-pointers. It's so far the highest scoring game for any rookie this season, and for a guy that has had a lot of criticism about like his offense, it was a much needed rebuttal against a lot of his critics. What do you guys think of that game and his performance during this past week so far?
I think that was the highest scoring non-Trey performance of the season, right, for a Hawk?
I think
anybody else
so.
has had 33.
Yeah.
Crazy when you think.
No, yeah, Jalen's was 20 at 29.
It is actually really crazy when you think about it, because honestly, you probably will expect like Jalen to do something like that.
Jalen, yeah, and the only other candidates are hurt. So
yeah,
I will say, New York didn't respect him at all that game. Like they were actually leaving him open on a lot of plays, runs, whatever, and he was making it. We've already said Zach had the confidence to do what he wants to do. He already has that IQ. He's not scared to take the shot, whatever. It was just a matter of when the shots were going to start falling. And not gonna lie, they haven't really after that game. They haven't really been falling. But that game, they were falling.
He had a great matchup. The Knicks had Josh Hart on him, and Josh Hart just is not.
They kept rotating between Hart and OG, and he was cooking both.
And I mean the Knicks. I realized how small they really are outside of the center position, just because Zach was too big for pretty much anybody in their team to really guard, and his shot was on, the touch was on, the confidence was there like it usually is, and like when the shot's falling, like it looks really good. So yeah, that was great to see. It's a big moment for him. I'm not sure if that was like, I don't know if he like had a bit of a letdown after that, or I don't know. He's been a little bit streaky. Hopefully, maybe he's playing too many minutes right now too, so maybe he can pick it up some if his minutes come down. But that's gonna be the theme of the episode.
I mean, like when you look at him when he played in like France and stuff, I think he was always gonna be like this streaky kind of player. It's just like I'm just happy that he's able to still like at least kind of contribute in other ways, at least with his defense and stuff. Though, like he has some games like in Detroit where he just can seem like he just doesn't really do anything sometimes, and that's kind of frustrating. Especially
he
when
had points in the clutch against Detroit.
That's true. Yeah, he did.
I mean,
he did.
Here, I honestly think they do need to start running some more actions for him and Jalen. Like, maybe some Chicago stuff to get them, like the stuff that you run to get Dre moving and getting them downhill. Because Zach's a good driver, and honestly, just the rim pressure he puts, he draws a lot of fouls. Even if he's not going to make too many of them, that's going to get teams in foul trouble, and that's a way to get Trey to the free throw line at the end of the game. So I would like to see him try to get downhill. It sucks, though, because we have no spacers, so he kind of has to be a spacer. So, Quinn's he literally told us that Quinn's telling him to shoot the effing ball. So like, while on one hand, like the thing he's best at right now is probably getting to the rim. Like he has to shoot, which is just an inconsistent way to score, especially for him right now. So a little frustrating.
Yeah, because like he is actually really good against the rim. Just the injuries. Like I think I think we should just move on to the injuries and like how we'll just talk more again. Like how do you guys think how this team is just handling the injury situation? Because it's especially with now like Dre, we are assuming is healthy. Like, and with how do you think Quinn is just handling these minutes generally so far? Since we already talked about previously before, but like right now, it just seemed like it's just a big log jam that's just causing this team to just have so many issues.
I mean, like, what else is he gonna do besides what he's doing? You know,
Yeah, I can't really.
Yeah, you're not having the practice time to, you know, like I said, they've had 1 day of rest between, max 1 day of rest between every game since the season started. They haven't had 2 days of rest once yet, right? So it was peculiar or interesting to me in the Bulls game when they finally started going to the Nance double O lineups. And it kind of worked, but you could also tell that they hadn't been on the floor enough together. Right, they had some miscues with that lineup where Nance and Double O both go for a rebound, ends up going out of bounds. The timing just off on them passing the ball to each other, stuff like that, and it kind of just messed with the timing of the offense again. And everybody else on the floor is just so tired on top of that. But I mean, how they're handling the injuries, the record's 4-7, literally 2-7 since.
Everyone got
Dre
injured.
sat down, right? So
yeah,
not great, honestly. But the rotations just kind of are what they are. You gotta play David Roddy or it's Moji. Everybody's saying they want to see Moji, and that's just some stuff you're saying. You don't really want to see Moji in minutes that matter. You think that's what you want to see. Oh well, he's tall. You don't want. You really don't want to see that.
All you want to see Moji do is drink Gatorade right now.
Yes, and pass Gatorade to somebody else.
Slide
but
out
it's
of
like,
Tracy
again,
when he comes to the bench.
Exactly. Like Chris said, man, like if you're going to be playing David Roddy and Garrison Matthews minutes together, and like they're forced to put out some lineups that are extremely uncomfortable. I can't remember. I actually tweeted it during the game. I was like, I can't believe this lineup is on the floor. And then 5 minutes later, they went on like a 9-0 run. And I was like, I can't believe this lineup just put. I think it was like Keaton, Gary, Roddy. I don't even. It was bad. It was an ugly lineup, but yeah, it's just not ideal right now. But they're doing the best they can. They just keep falling apart at the end of games, and that's what happens when you got guys playing the minutes that they're playing, and the scheduling has been what it's been early in the season. What do you think, Marco?
Can we keep it short? Yeah, Quinn is doing what he can with the roster, and it's whatever. People are hurt. Roddy tricked me a couple games. Now I don't want him to touch the floor at all, actually. Or if he's going to touch the floor, at least be at the 3. I'm tired of the undersized position team. But we have to do it seeing what we have. But we also have Nance who can run back up power forward. So hopefully Quinn makes that adjustment. Like I said, but when injuries happen. You try to take the positive from the injuries. Like Keaton, you never would have guessed Keaton was doing this if Kobe never got injured. Blah 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 and all that good stuff. But at this point, it's easy to dwell back into the negatives of the injuries than it is the positives. So hopefully we get guys back this week. Like you said, Hunter this week. Veet maybe at the end of this week because it's been 2 weeks since his evaluation, and he was listed at 2 weeks. So hopefully Veet sometime this week, and that'll help.
What I think of the injuries, it sucks. How they handle it. I've had plenty of heat for Quinn in terms of like the creativity and how he's handling it now. To Leon's point earlier, right? Like there's practice aspect of it, right? It's not 2K and you just like change the lineup. You're like, I'm down a shooter, so I'm going to play this spacer here, even though he's never practiced with these guys. So I do understand that, and Quinn does have to like get them up to speed between balancing rest and like practice and all that. But it has been a little frustrating seeing some of the lineups get clunkier because the guys are out. We had a really nice proof of concept the first 2 games, and it was great. And then it just went away instantly. I will say that the guys have kind of handled it better than I would have expected, considering who's out. I will say, like, the additions of Dyson and Zach have gone a long way towards saving. Because look, last time we lost guys like this, it felt way worse. I felt like we weren't even as competitive as we are right now. Dyson's been really good in keeping guys in check, and Zach having that big scoring night. I think Trey was kind of off that night too, so it helped. So yeah, they've played their hearts out to try to make up for the injuries. So I respect that. Hopefully Quinn can scheme something up to get the lineups going. Like there's guys that haven't played together, and you can see they already had indecision to start the season because they were doing a lot of new things, and now it's new rotations. So you just want to see them kind of rep it and get in the film room, I guess, and hopefully it can smooth it out. I think Dre's back soon, so if you can just you're 1 win away from being, I think, like 4th in the East. So
which is
they're
crazy.
not like out of it yet, and stealing those 2 wins was huge for them, honestly.
Yeah,
and
next game is the Celtics, though.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say they had to win the next game, but
Yeah.
you just got to win
they won
a game soon. But yeah, I mean, any given Tuesday, you don't never know what's going to happen. But yeah, it would just be nice to get Dre back. Hopefully, they can find a way to keep him healthy for longer than a couple games, because they really need him right now, and they can't really address the position for another month plus. So.
And by then, the guys might be back.
Yeah. I appreciate the fight that this team is showing, because like you saw games like the Pistons game, like they were down 25 and they just kept fighting no matter what. And I will also say this, like if Dyson Daniels wasn't on this team right now, we probably would be 2-9. Like honestly, like he is basically like the defensive anchor for this team right now for the most part. He had a career high in, I think, steals. If this team's like even close to a playing team, he's probably gonna get all defense nod. So, like, this team is fighting right now. They had 5 games in 7 days, which is crazy, and you can appreciate that. But at the same time, it is. I feel like to me, it is really disappointing that they are 4-7 right now. I think there were some really missed opportunities, especially with the Bulls game and the Pistons game. Like with the Pistons game, that first quarter that they had was just terrible. Like they just started off so badly, and they probably would have won that game if they just had just a mediocre first quarter, but they had their worst first quarter of the entire season. And the Bulls game, like at that point, they were just tired and they just missed their easy shots. So at that point, it was just tired legs at this point. But it's just in general, it's just right now, it's just a lot of missed opportunities because of injuries. I'm just right now just gonna be interested to see how Dre looks in the Celtics game, which we're probably gonna lose. Hopefully, we don't. Like I said, I think the team. I like how much this team is fighting despite all the injuries and stuff. In terms of like the minutes, I think single-handedly the worst thing this team has done this season is not having actual backup point guard. That has been a complete disastrous decision, like 100%.
Chilling my boy Keaton.
Like I like Keen Wallace, but even so, but like not trading for an actual backup point guard has been probably the worst decision because it's clear that no one else other than Trey has been able to actually really generate offense for like several of these games now. And it's clear that when for a bunch of these games, if Trey gets tired or like he's not being able to like, shoot well, the Hawks are going to lose. That's it. So I just hope that maybe Kobe Buffkin, if he's healthy or if he is able to play in like the next few weeks, can be that point guard. But if he isn't, then I don't know how this team's going to be able to be like good because the whole Trey playing 40 minutes a night, like it can't work.
Unsustainable.
It can't. They got to trade for a point guard because Keenan Wallace has to be good on offense in order for him to be like, an actual backup point guard for the team on nights. Because if he isn't, then Trey has to come in and play a bunch of minutes. So it's weird. Like,
yeah, I do wish. I feel like one of the bigger like hits is having Beat out because he was so useful for like generating offense and just like helping guys who like because Jalen doesn't really have that killer instinct, but like Beat's really good at like setting people up for easy baskets. So him playing off of Jalen, he played off of Clint well. Sucks losing him, and then Bogey and Dre are like your two shooters who can like actually just pull up and get their own shot at any given time. Zach has that in his bag, but he's so young, so it's just tough.
I'm not gonna expect Risacher to like do that. He's he's the first pick, but like he's 19, so
yeah, you can tell Risacher has been the most affected by the ramp up in minutes. But he's kind of, getting into it slowly, surely but slowly. Because I know those back-to-backs are kicking his ass.
Oh, yeah. They played 20 less games, I think, right, in France? No, even less than that because they're splitting that between cup games and I think he played 60 between, like, 2 competitions.
And they don't have back-to-backs or any of that, like...
Yeah, so that shit is kicking his ass.
Yeah. I mean, they have 2 days off finally before the Celtics game. So hopefully we can see some fresh legs, man. I mean, it's tough, right? You come out of training camp where you're trying to get in shape and then you basically never have a day off to just like sit down and let your legs just get any life back.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. Recovery.
Now, I do want to ask y'all about this guy, Onyeka Okongwu. He recently came back. Did he come back last week? Because I don't think he did. During our time, did we talk about him last week or no?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, there wasn't much to talk about.
Yeah, because now we have like a full like stretch of games that we've seen Onyeka like back now. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on him?
I think I shall go first.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know that we could stop you.
Okay.
I think I shall go first. I'm not going to sit here and slander Onyeka because he hasn't been playing good, but he hasn't been playing bad. He's been playing very average. He's been playing as much as his contract is worth, which could even be a stretch in some people's eyes. But Onyeka being in year 5, we are 11 games in. Yes, he hasn't been playing. I think out of these 11 games, he's only played 8 or 9, whatever. Onyeka's been underwhelming for the season. I will say that. He hasn't been showing what we're usually used to with Onyeka. That 3 ball is still a myth. And we all came into the season hoping that 3 ball would at least give us 2 to 3 threes this game. We're barely getting 1 3 game out of him. He made one against Chicago. But I think that's like his second or third 3 of the season.
It is his third 3 of the season.
It's his third 3 of the season.
He is 3 of 15 from 3.
That's all you see. That's all you need to know. We're not expecting him to be some proficient top-notch three-point shooter from the 5, but we wanted him to at least give the ability to stretch the floor when we need to, but now we're not getting that from Onyeka. Even when he's driving to the hole, he doesn't have that touch that he usually has at the hole. Rebounding has kind of gotten better. He's kind of gotten better at fouling, but now it's like as a whole, he's not giving us anything that he's not proving that he needs to have that starting spot. I feel that's how I'm looking at it. Maybe that's not how everybody else looks at it, but what I'm seeing, I don't want Onyeka off the team at all because depth is just as important as your starting 5. So if you can keep Onyeka as a long-term backup, then that's fine. But I don't think you can start him and expect the Hawks to be what the Hawks need. Now, finding the center that the Hawks need, that's another discussion. Whoever you feel like fits the system best, whatever, that's another discussion. But as I can say with Onyeka right now, he is not the starting center the Hawks need. I will pass this to Chris.
Sure. I mean, to your point about the contract, yeah, I would say like he's got the type of deal where I don't know that they are upset about the production. I mean, obviously they need more right now because they're just missing so much offense. But I think as a team, you didn't pay him to be your franchise center, so the fact that he's not taking over the job, it's probably a little concerning for them. They now know they probably need to address the position, but at the end of the day, you have a backup that has a really high floor, so that's a really useful player. And if they do find a trade partner, that's a guy that could be a piece there. But I mean, he still has plenty of time to turn it around. I mean, realistically, the shots are pretty short for everyone, and he was behind coming into camp. So I mean, he's kind of playing his normal minutes, but he might have been scaled down some. But they just kind of can't even give guys as much rest. Like he played both ends of the back-to-back recently. So hopefully he's still just getting his legs under him and he can provide that scoring punch. I think the biggest concern is like defensively. I feel like he's not having the impact that you would want, especially with this scheme. You're going to need your centers to really switch out on the shooters and rotate. And if one of his skills was helping against shooters, and the toe might be affecting the movement, and hopefully that gets healed so that we can see some of that burst he was showing early in the season when he I think he had 28 points in the first game. It looked like he was going to be the guy, and he just hasn't really shown that since. So hopefully he turns it around. He's still a very young player, so he's got time. But yeah, it's a little concerning what you're seeing from him lately. Just not much aggression, and you want to see the intent and the process to be better. I think that's the thing with Zach, right? The process has been good with Zach, but with Onyeka, it just hasn't really been there. So
Before we pass it to Leon, my bad, Leon. Per cleaning the glass, our lineups with Clint Capella are way better than they are with Onyeka. And I'm gonna put it like this: when it is Trey, Dyson, Dre, Jalen, and Onyeka, they are negative 25. When it is
possessions,
yeah,
how many possessions, bro?
what did I just say? Trey, Dyson. That one is 22. Ain't a lot, but it's still whatever. When it is Trey,
bro, can you run that with David Roddy off?
Okay.
David Roddy's been getting barbecue, bro, and some of these lineups are bad.
I got one more.
Zach's also probably really bad too.
Yeah,
it's actually not.
No, Zach is winning the impact battle at like even when he's
Trey,
like not shooting, he's winning the impact battle.
When it is Trey, Dyson, Risa, Jalen, Onyeka, and 34 possessions, they are negative 21.8. When it is Trey, Dyson, Dre, Jalen, Capella, they are plus 27,
We saw that for 2 games.
and
Yeah.
that was
There's
52
some-
possessions.
There's
I
some
think
noise in the sample size.
I think
Yeah.
But-
I'll just
No, I know what you're saying. I feel you. Yeah.
I'll just read the net ratings. I think it's simpler. So Clint Capella's net rating is negative 2.3. OO's is negative 6.4.
Yeah, they haven't defended with Onyeka on the floor.
And
That's
it's
true.
hard
We
for
have
him
no rim
when he's
protection, and
playing
that's
with
the
David Roddy.
That's
Mhm.
that's the
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
No, I mean, teams aren't
Kind of.
shooting as well against the rim as well at the rim against us as they have, but sometimes it's just bad. It's just bad. It's frustrating. It's just really frustrating as a fan.
I think
Um,
like his toe injury is like clearly affecting his defense, but at the same
All
time,
right.
like go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
I'll
ahead.
get into it. I'll get into it.
No, just go ahead. Yeah.
When you're a small center, you have to win with explosiveness, quickness, speed, suddenness, that kind of stuff. Carving space to get offensive rebounds, beating guys to the spot. He's not gonna do that when your big toe's messed up. Like I don't know what it is, but he's clearly in the games where he performs well versus the
Healthy.
games where he's not. You can tell just by the way he's moving that he's just not there. Like that next game was cute. Like that was great. 28 points,
Awesome.
whatever. It was really nice, cool.
Those power dribbles, man. I was like, look at
Yeah, and then you had the 18 and 10 game against the Celtics that people are championing, but the point is, like, he did most of that work when the game was over. And as I said before, the Celtics are going to give you whatever twos you want, especially when they have a 20-point lead. We're just going to keep shooting these threes. Joe Mazzulla has told you as much. Yeah, he just and it's tough to ask him to go out there with David Roddy at the 4 and Garrison Matthews at the 3. And I'm sure that's hurting his numbers to a degree, but even when he's on the floor with Jalen, the numbers haven't been good. Like they've been quite bad, actually. So that was supposed to be the thing. Like, oh, they're like their best friends. The advanced stats when they're on the floor together are so good. It's not looking great right now for Mr. Okongwu. It's not looking great for Toyaka. So if this is a toe issue that's really bothering him, man, you have a third center who's worth a darn. If you really want to do what I think makes sense, you should let the guy rest or whatever. Play Larry Nance. Let Double O figure this toe out. So, let Larry Nance get his trade value up. You trade him at the trade deadline, get something valuable back for him, and then take Onyeka into the back end of the season. But if not, man, you're just gonna have games like the Chicago game where at the end of the game you're asking the fans are trying to figure out why Larry Nance, who was 5 of 5 and 3 of 3 from 3 in what? Hold on. I mean, he played 13 minutes. Oh, wrong game. Well, that was against Detroit, but against Chicago still, 1 of 1 from 3, 2 of 3 from the field, 6 rebounds, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Like people are trying to figure out why he's not playing more. You don't want to play him at the 4,
one of those
so
people.
You got to play him at the 5.
For the record.
I'm also one of those people. Like I understand you don't view him as a 4, but I mean you also got David Roddy playing the 4, so I mean
at this point, like Larry Nance is too good not to play. So I mean, I don't think they got a choice.
I think the fact that he's a veteran, you should be more open to just throwing
a playable
him out
veteran
there.
at that.
And he can shoot 40% from 3. So then you need the spacing.
Yeah, I mean his numbers say he's not shooting enough. We need he needs to shoot so much that those come down.
Yeah. And I think Quinn is starting to figure that out because it was one game where he closed with Nance, and everybody kind of made a big deal out of that. But I was like, he closed with Nance for a reason. He was spacing, like he actually provided space on the floor, moved. He was doing the right things that we needed from our center at that game. Right now, as much as I slander Clint when I can, Clint has been playing a little bit better since we're on the topic of centers again. Finn has been playing a little bit better, but it's still not what I feel like we need for this team. That's why, a lot of people were pushing for Sar over Risa, because if you can go ahead and develop a 7-footer and your real plan is not to compete until the 25-26 season, that means you just took a whole year, blah, blah, blah. You got a 7-footer ready. But now we're stuck in the loop. Like, we feel like we're good everywhere else, but the center room is still in shambles. It's still in a limbo of, can I get this from you consistently? Can I get this? Can I get, that and this? Clint, I don't even remember the last time. Has Clint even got 10 boards yet this season?
Yes. Last game,
Yeah.
I think he had like 12.
The main reason, no, he had 9, unless you're talking about Detroit.
Detroit, he only had like 5, 6.
Detroit, he had 12 against Detroit. That was the 12 game. In
like
18 minutes,
points,
Jesus Christ. 18 minutes, 7 points, 12 boards. Crazy work. Yeah, that was that 3 of 10 from the field game.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where, our centers aren't really boarding. We're losing board battles, long rebounds, or 50-50 raws. We're losing those. It's getting to the point where now something has to give on that position. So a lot of people stress the backup guard, and I'm not really stressed about it as much as I was, because you have Keaton coming up and you're going to get Kobe back in a week or some change, hopefully. So now you have, hopefully you get Kobe back in a week and some change, and hopefully Kobe can actually stay healthy to play some impactful minutes on that. Yeah, Keaton coming up, but Keaton is on a 2-way. You can't play him forever, and you don't have an open roster spot to sign Keaton to.
They gotta do something with Kobe.
Right. You can't play Keaton forever.
So now you're still in the position.
About that.
Yeah, now you're in the limbo with that as well. So you have some roster questions coming up, and you don't have to wait till deadline to address those, but
most players can't be traded till December 15th anyway. So
that is also true.
Yes.
So, but you got Cody.
You do got Cody. I don't know. Nobody wants
gonna do anything with that.
Cody Wrestler.
I don't think you can even trade him until the 15th, right? He was
and nobody wants Cody Wrestler. I'm calling him Cody Wrestler now.
Not Cody Wrestler.
Cody
Yeah,
Wrestler.
nobody wants him. There's we have nobody that there's
That's how he ended up on. That's how he ended up on our team.
Like, you see the vision where Landry wanted to do this offseason, and we all seen it, but Landry forgot that
he didn't forget. He didn't forget. He tried to trade those guys. He tried to trade.
He did.
I think Bogey is likely the only injury-prone guy that they
gets a pass.
Wanted to keep, willingly.
Because at least when Bogey gets hurt, after that first initial injury, Bogey is usually back for a decent amount of time.
I mean, he was healthy for like the entire last year, and then like the season before, like he came back in December, and then was basically fine.
Bogey just got the
games.
Yeah, he just got the bad luck bug this time. Hamstrings are tricky. It happens. Yeah. But Bogey also actually did not rest this much this offseason either. So
the thing he did was likely trying to ramp it up too soon after sitting out. Which at that age, it happens, man. You got to stretch a whole lot more. And that starting 5 thing they talk about, so much of what LeBron does now is just getting warmed up, right? You got to get your body warmed up at that age. Obviously, Bogey's not 40, but LeBron's 40 is probably pretty similar to Bogey's 32. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. The last time Bogey missed games at the beginning of the season, he made the Eastern Conference Finals. So
that's true.
Actually,
goes on that heater that he's known to go on.
Yeah,
about time.
Bogey will be fine when he comes back. He'll be a little sluggish, but he'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think Trey's really missing Bogey too. That's someone who Trey uses a lot to attack the defense early when they're not set. Those hit-ahead passes, and he knows Bogey will just go get a shot off. He doesn't just defer back to him. There's some times where I think Trey is obviously wanting Jalen to attack, and he throws him the ball, and then Jalen will take a dribble and just give it back to him. And Trey's like, "Oh God, here we go. Got to cook now, right?"
Yep.
Yeah, that goes back to that figuring it out period, because Jalen's finally coming into that second role. I guess we're gonna transition into the open topic part now.
Yeah.
That comes with the coming out, the figuring out period. Jalen finally has realized he's the second option. He's been solid these last few games, last four games. Three ball is falling for him now too. So positives. As a team now, as Trey tries to do, Trey is trying to get them involved, and we kind of don't need. I ain't say we're gonna need it, but it's like Trey has this flip, this switch. He doesn't know when he needs to take over anymore, and I feel like that's what's kind of killing us too.
I think he does. I think he just doesn't have the
legs.
legs in the fourth quarter to do it, bro.
Oh, yeah, he can't do it in
Yeah.
the fourth.
You can
But that's
tell
why he's
when
not
Trey's
preserving
cooked
himself.
because he just starts shooting jumpers.
And he's trying, and he doesn't. I think he's in his head where he's like, okay, I don't want it to be this thing where it's like, Trey's, dominating the ball, Trey's taking over the game, Trey's,
Stressing his team. It's his system.
you know what I mean? And it's like when that's not working, I think he finds himself in a bind because I think Trey does care what people say, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really what's hurting him there. Yeah, and he's clearly frustrated. Last two nights, he's just left the arena like as soon as the buzzer sounded. So yeah, it's rough for the team and for him. So, oh man,
Trey
It's gonna
trusted
be all right,
Onyeka to take that game winner against Detroit, which I feel like is
yeah.
a good
Well,
sign.
I'm sure he was able. I'm sure Onyeka built some confidence with that.
Yeah.
Well, it
He
is.
got blocked by a guard.
It's a process.
It's a big guard.
Whatever, man.
It was a good block, man. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
It was
we'll go with that. That's what we're gonna call it.
That Duke boy not getting blocked.
Jalen would have tried to draw the foul right there, but that's a different discussion.
I do think there's an argument that it should have been Jalen and Nance as the front court guys and Jalen the dunker, but hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
As long as you just put all the real floor spacing on the floor. It's not rocket science. Just put all the real floor spacing on the floor.
Yeah, Quinn talks about spacing a lot, right? So for me, I would have thought he would have been pretty
That
open
double O would like not
to
be on the
going
roster.
to.
But we gotta develop these young guys.
Fact of the matter
We only
is,
have
he
one young
finally
guy to develop.
he finally got a 5 on the roster that shoots, and I feel like he's been very reticent to put him on the floor. I'm like, bro, you have.
Yeah, I think the hard part with that is now it's harder to put him on the floor, especially if you're not going to start him because it's hard to have the defensive personnel to support Larry Nance on the floor considering the roster that we currently have available.
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah, and it's clear that he prioritizes defense at the 5, which is why I think they're going to get that Duke boy because he's a giant.
Yeah.
So, he's.
But you're the draft guy. I'm not a draft guy. I don't watch.
Pick updates. Pick updates on the picks that we have in the 2025 draft. I'm on to Tankathon. The Lakers are currently handing us the 13th pick. That's a lottery pick, so hopefully that jumps up into the top 4, as well as actually LA and Sacramento are 13 and 14th, worst teams in the NBA. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now.
That's good.
Yeah, the NBA is so funny because while the Lakers and the Sacramento Kings are the 2 best teams in the lottery, the Lakers are 5 and 4. And that's a better record than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams.
That's literally better than 2 teams in the East.
Yeah, they're better than. They have a better record than 6 teams at the bottom of the East. And
oh my God!
Sacramento has 1 more win, which would place them almost top 10 in the NBA in just overall record.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, but hey, works out for us. Yeah. Yeah. Dang, word. Yeah. So, yeah, with Center Talk, We need five.
Big. We need a clear 5, and I don't think the Hawks want to. I don't say they don't want to draft a 7-foot center,
What do you
but
mean they don't want to draft?
giving recent history. I mean, never mind. They wanted to get Lively and some other people. I'll stop that tangent. I don't know if the Hawks want a young center. They might try to steal somebody that's already in the league now in season, not 2 seasons, but they want to hope to find another Dyson situation. Good player that's just trapped in a bad spot.
Don't give up bad centers. Teams will give up good teams don't give up good centers. Teams will give up like a good wing because a lot of teams feel like wings are irreplaceable. Are replaceable. It's like, I can get a 6'7" guy who shoots and has like a little bit of feel. Like
it's like the tier of center. The upper crust center rarely gets moved.
Yeah,
there's very few of them. I feel like.
They're obviously the last couple MVPs are in a tier of their own, and then there's this tier of like
massive gap. And then
and
the Cats are like next to.
Brooke is old, so he kind of doesn't count. Miles Turner, Sabonis. I think Sabonis is probably at the top of that tier, if not in a tier of his own, kind of like by himself. And then there's the
also kind of
bottom tier Capellas and Nick Richards and Onyeka Okongwu. So like it's just one of those things where what kind of center are you gonna get, and is it just like cost effectiveness? It's probably just going to be end up being we should probably draft that guy.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, I agree. I think you draft him because you have Onyeka on a solid deal, and if the guy's not ready, you can start Onyeka, and knowing you have likely Larry Nance still on the roster, I would hope. Who maybe you start him? I'm not sure. It feels like
Larry Nance is expiring.
Yeah, but I would. I think
just sign him.
Likely be willing to come back for less than he's making now on average, and then if you give him guaranteed money for if you give him like a 2-year deal, I think he'll take that for another 11 maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But I would like to bring just the spacing that he provides in the front court, which is something that's very valuable for this team. When you have Jalen, who needs to get downhill, Zach, who's shown the ability to really drive. I would love the lanes to be open. So if I want to do that, and Onyeka passes the ball really well, and he fits into that too. But I think they drafted
for the lanes to be open for years, man. It's very painful to watch them continue to be clogged up. We need Dre now.
Yeah,
our offense needs Dre now.
We definitely need somebody else who can score in the half court.
Crazy. Yeah, there's most of those guys are hurt.
Most of those
like
guys
the
are
on paper,
Grady.
not even the on paper guys. We've seen them do it, guys, in Dre and Bogey, and the hypothetical guy is in Kobe. Yeah. And we know how Vic juices the offense, even though he's not a shot maker.
Yeah, all of the offensive juice is gone except for. We're depending on Zach to juice the offense. And to his credit, he's been able to get fouled and get to the line at a really nice level. He's giving us points, but it's like he's not going to be efficient at his age, which is a bit of an issue. But it's to be expected, right?
Yeah.
That's why you need Bogey.
Like we've all said, if you get at least 2 of the hurt 4 back, you win those games.
One would be huge.
Yeah,
honestly,
just
literally, as crazy as it's gonna sound, bro. Anyone,
one of them dudes, bro.
If we had Dre both Wizards games, we win those. I fully believe
probably.
That.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
I fully believe that because we were just missing one more half-court offensive person that game. Really.
The Pistons. Look, the size advantage we have over a lot of these teams.
You could have played Dre on Cade that last possession and got, you get Dre back, it's whatever. Because we're stuck with Dre at this point, so we might as well, start.
You have to play him because, when he's healthy, he's one of your best, 8 or 9 players.
Well, a lot of these sustained stretches where we're just not scoring, like he would come down and at least
do
take
something, get to the line, take a midi. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
I do want to ask y'all this: if Hunter is healthy for a Celtics game, you guys expect him to take over Risacher's spot in the starting lineup?
No,
No.
because if he's not on a minutes restriction, I'm gonna be pissed. And if he is on a minutes restriction, then he definitely should not be starting. He would mess up the continuity that we have in the first unit across the last 9 games, and he would help the second unit. Lord knows they need it. He'll help trade spacing when he works with the second unit. Same thing with Jalen when he works with the second unit. And, he's 6'7", so he'll guard whoever the best player is, the best wing is in those minutes. And we'll get to see him and Dyson on the floor together again. Him, Keaton, and Dyson. That could be interesting defensively. Hopefully we could turn some teams' water off. But, yeah, and we just need guys back at the end of the day. In the worst way, we need 1 or 2 of these guys back so we can really start winning some games, not playing guys 40 minutes a game anymore.
Like I said, bench needs Dre more than anything. Like Chris said, if you can turn all the Roddy minutes into Dre, that's more positive. He's most likely going to be a minute restriction. That's just how it is for that good old knee.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, he should be capped at 25 minutes a game, and you can afford.
Is it really a lot?
Hard 16, bro. Honestly, I don't.
Hard
they don't
16
need
is
to be
crazy.
pushing.
Not
Yeah,
even a dub. You can't even
No.
cap him at a dub.
No.
That's wild.
I mean,
You're
are
not
we
wrong,
really
though.
at that point? Like 60
I mean,
minutes?
that's what the
He played 2
reality
games
is.
and
Yeah.
has had to miss 2 weeks.
You want to
Like-
know something crazy, bro? David Roddy is shooting 55% from the field and 43% from 3.
He hits a lot of the shots that he takes. His issue is defense. He just
He's a
gets
Steve.
cooked out there.
He gives up everything he scores.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't buy the scoring. Like I
What do you mean? Like the scoring is why he's in the NBA.
Yeah, he's a decently polished scorer for the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like college guy.
Like if David Roddy was 6'7", then there's not too much of a difference between him and DeAndre Hunter. Honestly.
He has the game of a role player. He just is missing like 5 inches. Pause.
Hey yo.
Anyway, I mean, it's just that he's never really been like this good of a shooter before, but then again, he's playing with Trey, so that's just.
He's wide open.
Yeah, that's true.
Roddy is good in spurts, but you can't play him and Gary Matthews consistently.
He should be getting 8 minutes. Roddy should be getting 8 minutes a game tops. Like
Roddy should be getting no minutes.
Roddy should be passing Trey Young the water bottle.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he really shouldn't be out there. When he's
should be passing Trey the water bottle.
He's out there and he's having to defend like primary scorers.
Jason Tatum.
Yeah,
he had to
giving him buckets.
Listen, man, I know when he got traded to the Hawks, his first thought was, "Oh, I can't wait to guard Jason Tatum for half a quarter in November this year." Like
Brody thought he was going to be coming in, standing in the corner on offense and defense. Instead, he's got the best scorers in the league ISOing him. It's rough.
Yeah, it's quite bad.
But let's end off the podcast with our predictions for this week's games. We got 3 games this week. We got 2 NBA Cup games. One against the Celtics on the 12th.
In Boston.
One against the Wizards.
At home.
And just the Trailblazers. So we go to the Celtics on the 12th. We play the Wizards at home on the 15th. Also NBA Cup game. And we go to the Trailblazers home. We go to the Trailblazers arena on the 17th. So what are your guys' predictions? I
Oh,
said
Jesus, he's going.
3-1, so I was wrong.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, me, Chris,
Which is
Leon said
crazy.
2-2, and we ended up going what 1-3.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're picking 3 games right now, right? So it's
Yep,
1 and
3
2 or
games.
2 and
1
1,
and
which
2.
you're crazy.
Marco, you're going 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Wait, no, no. All right, let me rephrase that. We're playing. You said we're playing Celtics, Wizards.
Celtics, Wizards, Blazers.
Yep. Celtics, Wizards, and the
If
Blazers.
Dre is actually back, I am very confident in my 2-1. If Dre is not back, or if Dre
No,
sits one of
No
those games,
qualifiers. No qualifiers.
I'm putting the
Are any of those
qualifiers.
a back-to-back?
No. There's
That's
no
good.
back-to-backs.
That's good.
But the travel to Boston to Portland is kind of insane.
Yeah, but at least it's 2 days. It's just 2 days.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Like I said, I'm putting qualifiers on it because at this point I have to. If we get Dre back, I'm very confident in that 2-1. If we don't get Dre back, 1-2.
There's a part of me that really wants to go
3-0. I know, but be
No,
realistic.
I was gonna say 1-2. I'm gonna say 2-1. I think we're gonna win against the Wizards and Trailblazers, and also I'm gonna say have another prediction. If we win against the Trailblazers in their arena, we're gonna have a good season since we have not won in Portland in almost a decade. So I'm just putting that out there.
Jeez.
That'll be your first time in a minute.
Yeah, if Dre is, I mean, I'm not caveating, right? I'm gonna say we're gonna go 2-1, and it's based on the fact that I think Dre actually is back.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna lose to the Celtics, but they should be able to handle the Wizards and the Blazers. With Dre, we do have a solid wing rotation. Like suddenly with Dyson, Dre, Jalen, and Zach, those guys will be able to get rest and hopefully get out and run. And Dre can jog while they run, so he can stay healthy. Like, just take it easy, bro. Like, seriously, like you got to play like a vet now, dog. Like the vets, the way the vets talk, man, they're like young bucks, y'all go run. I'm gonna be here in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of the mode he's got to be on now, and like really, really be careful when he's out there. But yeah, I think they can pull off 2-1 as long as Dre is back and no one else goes down.
All right, Leon. What do you say? It is. Yeah, this is gonna be, I think, a very interesting stretch, honestly, because this is like the first real stretch they finally get like actual rest between games. So I'm interested to see what you think, Leon, when you get a chance.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say 2-1. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I think the guys know that they should be winning some of these games that they're losing. I think after 2 days of rest, the guys are gonna come out feeling good. Hopefully, give Boston a fight in the cup. They're going to want to beat the Wizards, and they should beat the Wizards. And then the Blazers are pretty much a dumpster fire, so we should go ahead and beat those guys. And probably have one of the worst, if not the worst, coach in the league, unfortunately. Just kind of is what it is. But they got some pieces on their roster. If we get one or two guys back this week, then 2-1 shouldn't be an issue.
Shout out to Kling Kong.
Well, it's crazy. He's probably not even going to play against us for real.
Yeah. But
is he hurt or are they just not playing him?
They've been playing him on a matchup basis.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they'll play him against Clint, right?
They got Ain, though. So.
Yeah,
I mean, like, what? Like, who are they not trying to match him up with? Or
I don't know, because he only played in the game against the Grizzlies, who have Edie starting. He only played 16 minutes.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, they're paying Aiden a lot of money. So
Yeah.
Aiden is expiring soon too, but
Next season.
No,
he's
no.
not on my center list. But at this point, you can tell me go play center. I promise you, I'll grab at least 9 boards.
Oh, you're crazy.
how tall are you, Marco?
6'4".
He's like 6'3". 4. All right.
Oh yeah, Leon got a little height. Leon might be 6'5". I don't know because he got a little. He
I'm
got
not
like 2
6'5".
inches over me.
I am not 6'5". I am definitely your height or shorter. I am not. I have never in my life been 6'5".
No, I don't know, man. Maybe the shoes. We're gonna say it's the shoes.
Yeah.
It's the shoes.
Hey, look, DeAndre Hunter can't get 9 boards. You think you get 9 boards?
Just because Dre doesn't want to try to get the boards.
He doesn't want to try.
Hey, but to end this out on a very positive note, Risacher is top 10 in best defensive field goal percentages among the rookies this year. He is number 9 at 43.4%.
And that's what matters, folks.
He's top 10, and I think
Defense.
3-point attempts defended, right?
Contested, yes.
Yep.
He's really getting out and contesting. Nobody else is. He's got to do it. That's the rook taking onus. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, he runs. He runs really hard to play defense. I really
Sure does. Sure does.
It's that, hey, Ryan Schmidt, I mean, you do got to have faith in Schmidt. Like, he's got his hands on him. I think you're going to see more of those performances that he had against the Knicks more often, hopefully soon. But, I mean, he's given us, like, 17s here and there, like, double-digit performances. He's leading, I think, all rookies in scoring so far.
You got the biggest rookie performers so far as well.
Yep.
It's still super early in the season. I mean, Trey started pretty slow, and the back half of his rookie year was crazy.
Then February hit, and after that, he was on crack.
Yes, at some point, it could click with Zach, and he just goes off. Honestly, we just need a little more spacing, and he'll probably get to the rim a lot. So.
Yeah. If we get imagine you could put him on the floor, and this will happen. Like Trey, Bogey, Risa, Dre. Ooh, maybe Jalen at the 5? No, I'm kidding. Nance?
I think some Jalen 5 minutes are honestly coming at some point. But it depends.
He's our best rebounder so far.
Yeah.
I don't think full time, but I think if the roster gets to where they want it to get, like, it's just going to make sense. But especially if Zach continues to get bigger, he's going to be able to give you some 4. Jalen's at the 5. Like, they bring in another wing in this draft. That guy at the 3, you get Dyson, like, have a nice versatile. And it's just a way to shave down on the Clint minutes. Oh, obviously Clint won't be here next year, but you know what I'm saying. But
never say never, buddy. Never say never.
God,
obviously,
that's going to be a depressing episode if we do that one. I'm going to sound really sad.
Obviously.
What did I just jinx it?
Oh my god!
Not even. Hey, listen, man. Hey, man. I wouldn't.
What's
be
crazy?
shocked, brother.
Actually, I'm 50-50 on that one because Clint is one of Trey's closest homies. That's on record, but I have a feeling some team will overpay for him because they just need a center.
Paying at all should be overpaying. Like, if anyone offers him a contract, they should be like, well, we're out. Sorry, Clint. Can't afford it. We were hoping for the men, buddy. He already got overpaid anyway, bro. This dude, he should be working for free on his next deal. Like, just chilling. Like, he already paid me double. So, gratis.
Yeah.
He should be getting a vet minimum.
On the house.
There was a couple teams that wanted Clint, but we didn't want to take anything in return. But
that's our GM.
Tim Hardaway Jr., you know. No,
Chicago
wanted in return now.
Chicago wanted them.
Because if that dude is over 6'7", I'm saying yes.
Look, if Chicago does want him again,
guys, I will admit during a recording that I Googled Zaire Williams earlier today. Look, we need wings, guys.
He's playing well this year.
We need wings. Hey, I will take those 9 points, okay? Give me them 9. I'll take
If you
that.
still can get serviceable wings, that's still fine. But you want to end it out, Ant?
Yeah. I don't really have anything to say, honestly. But this has been another amazing episode of Hard Knock Hawks. We will see you all here next time. Hopefully, we have more positive news for this team. Have a good rest of the week, everyone. Peace out.
Oh.